You know, I can't wait until I'm an old man so I can tell my grandkids about the time when I was young and I saw the Marvel Cinematic Universe in front of my eyes. They won't believe it, but hey, it'll be an awesome story to tell. Avengers Age of Ultron. So Avengers Age of Ultron is the second to last movie of Marvel Phase 2, and it is the sequel to the Avengers. It's the last movie from Joss Whedon, because after Age of Ultron, he is leaving Marvel. I think he'll be involved in Infinity War as a producer and as a writer, but in terms of directing duties, he's out after this one. And in Age of Ultron, basically, Tony Stark creates Ultron because he wants to protect the world, but things go awry because it's an AI system, and now Ultron wants to make world destruction, and the Avengers got to stop him. Now, Age of Ultron had a lot to live up to, especially after the first Avengers, which I have said is the movie that really is a comic book come to life. You know what I mean? And did it succeed? Yeah, man, it definitely succeeded, man. Now, whether or not this is better than the first Avengers, that is up to you. I personally think it's actually a bit better than the first Avengers. It's, in my opinion, it's right up there with Captain America: Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, if I had made a top 3 list of Marvel movies, Avengers: Age of Ultron would certainly be on that list. Everything is just stepped up from the first one. The stakes are higher, the villain is better, and we've got more time to really flesh out these characters that we didn't really get a chance to really get fleshed out in the first one. One of them in particular is Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I mean, if you saw my my review of the first movie, I was really critical about the way Hawkeye was treated, you know what I mean? And I was happy that in this one, Hawkeye gets some of the best lines in the movie. He's really fleshed out. Like, you do see kind of his backstory in this movie, you know what I mean? And that's awesome. Same goes with Black Widow. It's really cool seeing just these characters that aren't the superheroes, but I mean, they are superheroes, they don't have superpowers, really get their own backstories and just see how interesting they are, you know what I mean? James Spader as Ultron, he straight up kills it in this role. The dude is menacing to a T. He's got, his voice obviously is creepy as hell, and he is a formidable foe for the Avengers, even more so than Loki was in the first one, you know what I mean? He just gives the Avengers hell throughout the whole movie. And that's interesting because in the first Avengers, Loki gave them hell, but he didn't really go all out until like the last 40 minutes of the movie. In this one, Ultron goes all out right from the moment he claims his goal. You know what I mean? But I wanted to talk about my 2 favorite parts about this movie: Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I'm a huge Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch fan, and I was curious to see how they were done. And Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen straight up killed it as Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Like, they had the personality and the character arcs that they did have in the comic books, and it's awesome. It's so great to see them sort of continue on, because I know Elizabeth Olsen is confirmed for Civil War at the moment, so that's really awesome to see. You know what I mean? I went totally nuts over that. One of this movie's flaws, however, is halfway through the movie there's no Thor. Someone obviously had to get the short end of the stick, and unfortunately it's Thor. And the reason why Thor is there is because they set his storyline up for what will be Thor Ragnarok. And that's the thing too. This movie does set up the future Marvel movies. It sets up Civil War, Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok, and a little bit of Black Panther. And that's awesome. You know, it made me all giddy inside. You know what I mean? Guys, there's nothing else for me to say about Age of Ultron other than that this movie was awesome to a T. This movie was exactly what I had wanted the first Avengers to be and more. And because of that, I'm going to give the Avengers a 9.5 out of 10. Just the same score I gave the first one, oddly enough. So yeah, I would say check out Age of Ultron right when you can. You've probably seen it by now, and if you haven't, go see it, please. It's totally worth your money. And there's an end credit scene that happens midway towards the credit. There is not a credit scene after the credits. So the only one you're gonna get is towards the middle. And if you don't want to wait for nothing, then my best sort of advice is just to go leave the theater. But other than that, check out Age of Ultron when you can. If you want to see my other reviews of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I made a playlist where you can watch all of my reviews of it so far, counting Daredevil. I don't know if Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. count. If they do, then I'll get to those reviews someday, but for now, check out my reviews of the other MCU category when you can.